So, in a previous video, I followed along with the first Shar's Animate With Me series. I was originally going to make a separate video for each part, but decided to merge parts 2 and 3 into one video. Part 2 covered using video reference for animation, and I used videos I took of myself for reference, and didn't really know how to show that in a video, so you can just see some examples of the animation practices I did. And I even did my very first walk cycle animation using this method, and I plan to use it for an upcoming animation. Anyway, let's jump straight into part 3, which was covering hair movement in the wind. The first step was to make a base of the character we were going to animate. I ended up making a rough sketch and then lowering the opacity and drawing over it. I was really excited to be working with this practice animation since before this, hair had always been such a bizarre thing to work with, and I had no idea how to move it around without it looking crazy or really inconsistent shape-wise and length. And just to give a heads up, the video following has 3 different wind exercises with the same concept, them being a fast wind scene, a slow wind scene, and then an underwater scene. But I only did the slow moving wind scene since I didn't have enough storage on my device to record all 3. But I hope to use all 3 in some of my upcoming animations, so I hope you notice them when they show up. I might not use this one though, cause I don't know if it's the angle I wanted for the animation, but I also might use it. So we're gonna see how that works. I might have to redo it specifically for what I want to use it for, just like the others that I want to do. So maybe you won't recognize the exact one, but you'll just see a version of it. Back to the process. The hair was going to be the part that moved the most, so I drew it in a different color and on a different layer than the rest of the sketch. I usually color my base sketches in red, and then blue, then purple, then pink. It helps me stay organized to show which piece is on top of what, or even to show pieces with more movement. With the base done, I could start on the other frames. I started with the most extreme frame, or the keyframe, with the hair fully blown to one side. Since the wind was supposed to be slow, it doesn't have to blow all over the place and just in one direction. This process was very new to me, since I was used to making many quick actions that didn't require the frames to be so similar to each other. This is difficult because when you're drawing a fast motion, your brain doesn't really care if the size is inconsistent or if the shape changes, so long as the end frame is consistent with the first. But for slow movement, you can see everything. I tried really hard to redraw each frame with the same shape while also moving and changing naturally. All of that translates to, this was fun, new, and somewhat out of my comfort zone for what I'm used to, which is exactly what I wanted from this exercise. Also, it took me a while to figure out even what kind of shape that the hair was supposed to be when it was blown to one side or not, because I know these are supposed to be like bangs, but this character has a very interesting very interesting style of hair. It's cool and I like it, but it's also, what is this? How do I draw this from a different angle? How do I, what do I gotta do with this? I planned to go over my purple hair sketch with another layer of line art, but then decided that I didn't want to do that, and opted to clean up the sketch instead. I could also make the layer black by simply making a layer on top of it with a clipping mask that was fully colored in black. But there was a lot more to clean up to do than I thought, and there was even an entire strand of hair that I drew in the base frame, but then forgot in every single in-between frame. I don't even know how I did that, and it took me that long to realize I had done that. Of course, the rest of the base with the hair and clothes got their well-deserved line art since I only had to draw them once. After that, I was able to start on color. I wasn't gonna do any crazy lighting or shading on this since I wanted to figure out that in a later process when I was gonna use this for a different animation. Using it for multi-purpose. So the whole coloring process for this video is just the base color. But since we have a moment to ourselves, I might point out that I haven't mentioned who this character is yet. No, it's not one of mine, unfortunately. That's still a work in progress. Last time I used a character named Shar from a manga I really like, and this time I decided to pick a character from another obscure story. This is Nagyunn from a webtoon webcomic called The Ember Knight. It's one of my favorite webcomics, and since I'm so picky, I don't read that many. The gist of the story is it's about two twin brothers named Nagyunn, our main character, and Nagyunn. Well, it's not about the two of them doing stuff because Nagyunn is dead. So twin brother Nagyunn takes Nagyunn's identity to find out who killed him. Except, like, Nagyunn's, like, really weak and bad at everything, except being really good at reading people's expressions and acting. He's like Among Us imposter, with every single person around him thinking he's someone else. Sometimes he gets away with it, sometimes he doesn't. It's cool. This is all, like, early episode stuff revealed in the first couple episodes, so this probably doesn't count as spoilers. When I finished the color, I realized I didn't draw Nagyunn's ponytail tie, and so I tried doing that, but I didn't like it, so I didn't end up using it in the final cut. Also, I tried to animate the clothes blowing in the wind as well, and I also don't like how that turned out! Yippee! The video does not cover the animating the fabrics or anything, so I really shouldn't have tried it. But also, I totally should have tried it, because how else am I going to learn but to fail and then do it again? Anyway, that's the first animation done. I did a simple background, which I also don't like. But I worked really hard on everything else, and I'm happy that I have more experience with animating hair. Looking at the process and how long it took me and just the finished product, I am happy with how it turned out. Not with the background or the clothes or anything, but with the actual what I was supposed to learn from the video itself, I'm happy with. You must be wondering now, why there's so much time left in the video if this just finishes the animation. Well, I actually decided that I wanted to do a back shot of the same animation so I could experiment with a different angle. And also possibly use it for future animation. I started by taking my entire project and copying it to another file, and then flipping my sketch layer to the other side. I had to erase all of the front bang hair pieces that shouldn't be seen from the back, and redraw the lines that would be seen in the back. As for the pieces that I had to add, Nagyunn has a ponytail, and I would need to animate that from a straight-on angle, which was difficult to get right. But by the end of it, I was able to settle on a base shape that I was happy with. And then, all I had to do was line up the keyframes of this new pink hair layer with the original hair that I had to keep the flow of the wind looking consistent. Because otherwise it just looks like there's not a wind and everything's just kind of moving wrong. Which, that totally didn't happen to any other piece of this animation. Even with just the experience of the last exercise, I was able to tackle the keyframes and in-betweens with a lot more confidence than before. Of course, I didn't want to do line art for the hair again, so I did the same trick as last time with my clipping mask layers. Except it did something weird that I have no idea why or how it happened, but it didn't stop my progress, so I won't pay much mind to it. Once the hair was done, it was a matter of animating the clothes from the back, which arguably ended up being worse than the front angle. And then I could do the base flat color like I did before. And that's the whole process, besides small minute details. So, since we have lots of the time-lapse left, how about we talk about the Ember Knight more? Here are my list of reasons why you might enjoy reading this comic. You like long stories? It's 200 episodes and still running. You like characters? Cool characters? There's tons of characters. Literally, there's so many characters and each one is fleshed out and has reasons for you to care about them. I mean, it doesn't mean that you'll care about them, but there are reasons that you might. And every character has a morality and goals and perspectives and like a bunch of things that they're doing. Lots of morally gray stuff. Do you like strong characters? Overpowered characters? I mean, really cool, overpowered characters. This story has a lot of those. If you're wondering what specifically drew me to the story, I like the characters, I like the writing, and the artwork. I really like the artwork, actually. It's cool and muted colors, and also very sketchy, and I kind of like that in artwork. It makes it look kind of cool. Not that there's anything wrong with, like, really clean looks, but just that art is cool in general. There's lots of fight scenes, and a lot of political intrigue, too. Oh, and there's dragons, actually. Well, you know, not like dragon-shaped dragons, like with wings and stuff, but like people who are dragons, which I arguably at times like better. Which I also like normal dragons, but in this sense, I do like the character dragons. The dragon that's the main dragon in the story, I like the personality of that character, and their dynamic with Nagyunn is really fun. That's not spoiling anything, you know they're gonna meet the main character when they show up, so you don't see them for 100 episodes though. So yeah, I like the dragon. I don't want to do a bunch of spoiler stuff, because that's not how you get someone to like a story. I mean, maybe it is sometimes, but maybe in another video I'll just talk about spoiler stuff, but I want you to read it for yourself if this is interesting, because it would be like super cool, and there would be more people that would like know about the cool comic. And I'm on episode 239 right now, and it is going down. Guys, it is going down. Everything is going down. Everything. It's going crazy. Everything. It's yeah. And I need someone else to have read it. So yeah, you guys should totally check it out. Also, just a warning, because I don't want to recommend something and then have everyone not like it. People die in this story. No one is safe. Be aware of that. If that makes you sad, I'm sorry. It makes me sad too. I'm still in denial about one of the last deaths. They're totally not dead. I don't know. There has to be a way they're still alive, you know? I'm not gonna say who, because that would be spoilers. I'm scared for my favorite characters. I'm scared about their relationships, and I'm really scared that things are gonna happen that's gonna go wrong. But that's how you have plot and conflict, so it's supposedly fine. Also, if you already like the Ember Knight and want to see more stuff about it, I'm planning on making some animations about it. Well, fan animations. 2 are already in the works, and I'm hoping to get done soon. And the other one is still it's still in its idea phase, where I'm like listening to a song and I'm like, yes, the animation in my head. So we'll see about that 3rd one, but the 2 of them definitely. I have plans. They're already either sketched out, or I'm like halfway done with the storyboard, that sort of thing. Yeah, and that's about it for me. Oh wow, there's a lot of stuff, there's a lot of footage left. Oh wow. And then DaVinci Resolve crashed, and I was so glad that I saved. I'm so glad that I saved, and that I didn't have to redo this video for a 3rd time. Anyway, we're going off script, and I'm just gonna keep talking more about stuff, because I have so much footage left, and I love talking about this stuff. So, remember how I was talking about I have those plans for the animations I want to do, okay? I have 2 that I'm doing that are very Nagyunn focused, because, you know, animation memes. And the 3rd one is also going to be Nagyunn and Nagyunn focused. It's like both of them. But then, I want to draw the dragon! And I cannot figure out what I should do to give myself an excuse to draw the dragon more. I'm not going to say anything about them because that'd be spoilers, because they're like so late in the story, but I'm like trying to figure out like what is there something like really cool and angsty I can do with them, or is there something that I should do that's just kind of silly? Like, I don't know what would be good for them. I can't think of any like songs or audios that I'm like, what would be good for this, you know? And of course I can just draw them and like make a cool like portrait or something, and I'm totally gonna do that. You're gonna see posts. But then it's not like an animation. Like, I need an excuse to be able to learn to draw this character to the point that it's like I really know how to draw them. Like, I'm getting better at Nagyunn. Because Nagyunn's really hard to draw. Like, it took me a very long time to learn actually how to draw his character, especially because of his bangs. If you can call them bangs, why do they... It's a cool hairstyle, it really is. I like the way it is, and it's cool for dramatic posing in the wind and everything. It's really great. It's just, you know, it's hard. It really is hard. Oh. Anyway, if you have like a cool idea of what a kind of animation I can do with the dragon, or like something silly or something fun or serious, whatever, I think I would like some ideas, because I want to be able to do that. I think that would be really cool, and I would be really excited to draw the dragon more. I just want to say thank you again to Shar for the fun animation exercise to follow along to. She's a big inspiration of mine, and I wanted to do these when they first came out 2 years ago, and I'm glad to have the opportunity to do so now. Also, thank you all for being patient with me through the delay of this video for 2 weeks or so. If you saw the post or the start of this video, you know that I had to restart this project because my tablet couldn't handle the video. But that also means I moved the project, well, not moved because it's gone. I started the project again on my computer in DaVinci Resolve instead of the app I was using on my tablet, which this is a new editing software that I'm unfamiliar with, and so it also took me longer to remake the video. So, yeah.